Hi everybody, my name is Kane, back with another tier list update. It took a while for this one since there was a whole new faction added to the game, and we cannot really update the tier list before some people do in fact upgrade and focus it. No one can really focus an entire faction from scratch, even in a matter of like 2 months or so, depending how old their server was of course. And to get SSR's high star also requires time and a little bit of commitment towards that faction, whether it be save diamonds or money put towards it. The first thing you will see entering the tier list is that I have red borders on 2 of the units, more specifically Devil and the Black Dragon. They are most likely to be moved down from the S tier in a very short while. Black Dragon, I do not really know, but he doesn't seem to be able to tank a lot of damage, and I have a hard time placing my offensive units even having 3 tanks, because I always need to put Black Dragon behind a good tank as he just dies in a few hits. He needs time to stack up, at least for now. I have checked his damage reduction and to me he had 42%, and it gave me questions, because with the talents and his 4th skill, it would all add up close to 62%. In this case, he would be a decent tank, but I think one of these is deactivated. From me testing the talents, I went down from 16,000 points, and the damage reduction did not decrease, even though the passive of the heavy shield did. So unless it upgrades itself, as it does in other tanks' talents, I wonder if the talent's special skill is not activated on Black Dragon. Really having a hard time using 2 of the best tanks and adding a Black Dragon just for some field-wide defense buffs, and that's pretty much what it does. I wonder if others do feel the same about him. In regards to the Devil, I have noticed 3 ways the Devil has been currently nerfed. From the Chinese Devil, and considering that they're literally skipping Inferno weeks, we have had Conflux week 3 times now, and Inferno is just nowhere to be seen. Currently 3 no nerfs to Devil, the only SSR Inferno will have, kinda makes me wonder if Devil will just not be the weakest SSR in the future. Sure, the field-wide percentage bleed is about half of his damage always, but for that kinda to be useful, you need tanks to not die, which sometimes can be a very hard task to accomplish. These are just my 2 cents regarding these units. I also have Hydra put in between SR and SSR just to the right of the list. I have some people saying Hydra is weaker than Wyvern, others saying Hydra is stronger than Wyvern, but most of the testing I could personally accomplish during the test servers would be that the Hydra does single target damage, whereas the Wyvern does high area of effect damage, to the point he can take about a half of the health of most of the backline, no matter 1x, 4x or 9x in just one trigger of his 4th skill. I mean, it depends on your units and how they are upgraded. Weaker ones may not be able to, but stronger ones will. So I am leaving Hydra for now in between this list. Regarding her strength, in PvP, PvE, she's very good in Dragon Invasion. As far as people told me, Tazar and Hydra are able to score good ranks in it and beat most of the meta compositions, unless it's Solmir with Sword of Frost, which I do believe is the number 1 formation for now. Second and third best are Jellu and Wood Elf plus Giant, and of course this Tazar. Green Dragon I have moved from A tier to S tier after awakening. Her ultimate has become an insane damage skill, and paired with Dragon Meteor, this unit has reached some extreme levels of damage. In half of the matches she happens to out-damage my Devil, but of course she is awakened versus an unawakened unit. At 5-star awakened she should increase in a lot more damage. For me currently she's 6-star and 2-star awakened. Since she's a free unit in the Pantheon, that is the only place where I will slowly upgrade her. Gorgon and Basilisk I have moved straight to A tier. They are decent tanks and debuffers. They perform exceptionally well with Tazar, but in terms of tanking outside of Tazar, they will most likely have a rough time, considering quite a few other tanks can easily reach over 100% damage reduction, like my Centaur and Dendroid. Additionally, they increase their tankiness through their debuff skills. Gorgon has a strong aura that reduces enemy unit damage percent and their critical hit value, both of which can increase the damage to those particular units by a huge amount. And we know that unit damage percent counters unit damage reduction, so it is a sort of a counter towards offensive, charging, and defensive units. Basilisk would petrify units around for each of the squad's unit dying. At least that is what people told me, as I do not own the unit. In which case that would mean that Basilisk would be able to buy a bit of time before the whole squad would just die. Bone Dragon has been moved down because frankly people just add too much damage reduction nowadays. That without awakening, Bone Dragon is not as useful as it was before. Sure, he can remove the damage reduction and field wide DR, but there are many other more useful offensive units to use for PvP, and I never or barely see them even get into the damage rankings. So for me, it is like an offensive buffer unit helping the team, even though his numbers would kinda look good on paper to be a damage dealer. Druid and Serpentfly were put straight into the B tier, but that does not mean that both of these units are bad, or rather that they have a very limited use. Serpentfly is good to counter buffs of the enemy team. For example, a gem over buffing their own tanks would mean that you won't kill them. Serpentfly can remove all of those buffs and so on. So this unit is good, but in very situational formations, or rather counters. Druid is a must-have if people do play the hero gem, and I believe she is a must-have. However, she's like a 9x support unit, in many cases performing very bad outside of gem. So anyone getting it would in a sense be wasting money outside of gem formation. Personally, I am not sure which rank to put her, but this was like the only place I could think of. Though if you think otherwise and you do use her, I welcome any information regarding those units. We have received a few new awakenings, so if people do manage to get some to at least 3-star awakening and test them out, I should update Beholder, Wolf Rider and Fire Elemental in the next few days. We will see how it goes. As well as we have concluded our Overlord event about a week ago and have seen plenty of new formations. You can all have a look at our second Overlord event and see what one of our best players are using at the current meta, as well as what I am using myself. Since some people have asked for my own formations, I may get around to updating the PvE, PvP and unit tips sections next week, as I will be booking off a holiday week then. At the current moment, I really do lack the time for those, as they will take me hours for a few days to sort them all out. Sorry for the inconvenience, guys. That's it for the video. Thanks for watching and see you in the next one.